Good day, everyone. I am Cheche Cabrera. I used to be the Undersecretary for Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Group of the Department of Social Welfare and Development. And currently, I'm a consultant with the World Bank of the Philippines, managing emergency cash transfer, community-driven development, and recovery support for Marawi. For today's session, we're going to take up Module 2, Session 6, Identification of National Government Agencies, Local Government Units, and NGO PPAs for Scaling Up or Repurposing for Recovery and Rehabilitation. For the learning objectives of this particular module, first is that we're going to identify the necessary programs, projects, and activities from a menu of PPAs for scaling up and repurposing. Second is to complete an inventory of national government agencies and their programs, projects, and activities for scaling up and repurposing. And the last one would be establishing coordination and collaboration protocols with other national government agencies and stakeholders. In connection with disaster rehabilitation and recovery, particularly the programs, projects, and activities, the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Law requires that all national government agencies, including GOCCs, government financial institutions, and local government units, are tasked to prepare a list of their regular PPAs that can be scaled up for reprogramming in the event of a disaster. Second step is that this project should contain details as to the activities and outputs it intends to have, geographic coverage, the costing, the financing modalities, and other information that should be necessary to be included in the agency or LGU's list of reference in preparing the rehabilitation and recovery program. And then, this list of PPAs should be able to provide guidance to the LGUs, but should be updated by the agencies and the local government units on a regular basis. Again, on the disaster rehabilitation and recovery menu of PPAs, I'd like to start with the Department of Education. Foremost, we have under DepEd the implementation of alternative delivery modes under the flexible learning options for learners outside of the school setting. Originally, this program was intended to decongest classrooms and address absenteeism of students. However, because of the occurrence of disasters and several schoolrooms are affected, the DepEd decided that this will be an intervention that would support learners in schools that were damaged in order for them to continue their education. Second is that of the Department of Health, particularly on tamang serbisyo sa kalusugan ng pamilya. Ito ay familiar kayo dito, ito yung tinatawag na check-up locally, and support for recovery and rehabilitation from the Department of Health. This program includes a complete physical examination, laboratory testing, also immunization, deworming, micronutrient supplementation, and dental services are also given. This is also implemented as a recovery and rehabilitation program for internally displaced persons, including those victims of natural and human-induced disasters. Third is the tulong panghanap buhay sa ating disadvantaged displaced workers, or popularly known as the TUPAD program, or the Emergency Employment Program of the Department of Labor and Employment. This is an emergency employment assistance program, particularly for displaced, underemployed, and unemployed poor workers. And this is a community-based employment program ranging from beautification, street cleaning, and declogging, and maintenance of canals within the community. The next menu is that of knowledge sharing, inputs acquisition, training on entrepreneurship, and skills acquisition, or yung tinatawag na kabuhayan starter kits of the Department of Labor and Employment, which is a livelihood program targeting workers in the informal economy, those with special skills or concerns, that provides beneficiaries with production skills training, livelihood starter kits, equipment, materials, and other inputs required for that particular training, and advisory or consultancy services. Next is that of Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino program, popularly known as 4Ps of the Department of Social Welfare and Development, which offered to affected families in the recovery and rehabilitation program areas cash grants to poorest families with waived conditionalities in the case of BIM CRRP or the Bangon Marawi Comprehensive and Recovery Program, providing for health and education. The next PPA is still with the Department of Social Welfare and Development, and that is the Sustainable Livelihood Program. This is a community-based program that provides for skills training, livelihood grant, and employment assistance for poor Filipinos in order for them to improve their socioeconomic conditions. The beneficiaries are given two options. Two tracks are provided. First is that of the Micro-Enterprise Development track, and the second one is the Employment Facilitation track. Prerequisite to this, the Department of Social Welfare and Development conducts social preparation and capacity building for potential beneficiaries. The next PPA is the Cash for Work, which is still under the Department of Social Welfare and Development. This is a program which provides unemployed or underemployed individuals with temporary work, enabling them to have source of income while recovering from disasters. The daily benefit is equivalent to 75% of the regional daily minimum wage. The next is that of the TESDA, which is an enterprise-based skills training intended for companies and retrofitting in accordance with the needs of the local industry. It includes apprenticeship and on-the-job training and job placement for those who are trained under the enterprise-based skills training. Next is the shared services facilities of the Department of Trade and Industry, which aimed at improving the competitiveness of micro, small, and medium enterprise through the provision of machinery, equipment, tools, skills, and knowledge that matches the local needs. The next one is the community-based training programs of the Department of Agriculture. DE has agricultural training institutes which offers training programs aimed at strengthening the competitiveness of farmers and fisherfolk. Another program of DE is that of the banner programs to support farmers on corn, rice, livestock, high-value crops, and organic agriculture. These banner programs of DA include seed distribution to farmers, production support for technology, insecticides or pesticides training, research and development, installation of irrigation support, machinery, equipment, and other facilities to provide them with post-harvest facilities in their communities. In closing, I would like to emphasize that the PPAs that I had mentioned are just few of the existing available PPAs that the local government units may tap to provide support for recovery and rehabilitation. Just to mention again, we have from DOLE the TUPAD project for employment. We have from DSWD the Cash for Work, which provides also temporary employment. And we have the health support and even the Department of Education in order to continue schooling of the children despite damage to schools. And I would like to encourage the local government unit participating here today that continue preparing, updating your menu of PPAs because these are useful in your work for recovery and rehabilitation. Thank you and have a good day.